Tonight on KGW News, more senseless acts and more broken windows.
We had a nice little brick on the ground and some damage to our window.
Why it's allegedly not the first time for this suspect. Plus, Hollywood on hold, with famous faces just minutes away from joining writers on the picket lines.
We got to get what we're worth.
And later, clear for takeoff, when you can hop on a direct flight straight out of Salem. And we begin tonight with yet another vandalism spree. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Police say the suspect hit 7 businesses in Northeast Portland early this morning. And much like another recent case out of Gresham, he'd recently been arrested for something similar. Alma McCarty with the latest.
This stretch of Northeast Broadway boarding up after Portland police say a man hurled rocks and at least one brick at windows.
One of my employees was actually driving by before we even opened for the day, and she happened to see the police stopped out front.
Tim Williamson's business, one of 7 hit.
When I got in, I was fortunate enough to find that it didn't smash through the window, but it was just brick on the ground, and then I started hearing from people as I was doing some cleanup that it was multiple businesses.
That included the daycare and the restaurant next door, plus the State Farm, Verizon, and Fred Meyer across the street.
It didn't seem like it was break in and try and rob the business. It was more just kind of do some damage, maybe just some vandalism.
This vandalism spree several days after another made headlines. A suspect in Gresham accused of breaking windows at multiple businesses, getting arrested 4 times, then getting out and reoffending. Business owners there had some strong feelings.
Can't help but wonder if he were to have remained in jail, if some of these things could have been prevented.
You know, if I were in charge of the jail, the key would be in the Willamette River somewhere.
Back in Portland, officers arrested a different man, 44-year-old Freddie Paredes Kencab, for this damage.
You ultimately want it to be something that doesn't happen.
For Williamson and his neighbors, it's on to repairs and replacements.
With a number of the businesses being damaged, someone will probably try to get in and make a good deal for everybody so it feels like neighborhood's getting taken care of.
Currently, the suspect is behind bars at the Multnomah County Detention Center. The Hillsborough Police Department confirmed he's also accused of an early morning incident there, shattering a Walgreens window last month with a rock. Officers say he admitted to doing it on purpose. David?
And that perhaps is the most disturbing part there. Thank you, Alma. We have a tragic update this evening on a death investigation we first told you about last night at 11. Police say a 12-year-old boy at a home in Damascus was killed in a murder-suicide. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says 34-year-old Ricochet Kerr killed the boy and then himself. 2 dogs in the home were also shot and killed. Deputies say he ran through a closed gate on the property on Delia Street and then crashed into the garage to get inside. Today, we also learned someone at that address had a restraining order against Kerr. It is not clear who, and we also do not know his relationship to the victim. We will update you when we learn more. Meanwhile, if you or someone you know is struggling with domestic violence or suicidal thoughts, know that you are not alone. You can reach the Clackamas Women's Services Crisis Line at this number on your screen, 888-654-2288. There is also the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That number is easy to remember. It is 988. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. In Sherwood, 1 person is dead after a crash between a car and a dump truck. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says this was on Southwest Roy Rogers Road this afternoon near Southwest Elsner. No details here on the exact cause. The suspect in the fatal stabbing of 32-year-old Colin Smith outside a Portland bar now faces a hate crime charge. Smith was killed July 2nd near the High Dive in the Buckman neighborhood. A family friend tells us he was trying to stand up for a friend who was being harassed by someone using homophobic slurs. A grand jury has now indicted 24-year-old Renique Jackson with murder, unlawful use of a weapon, and a second-degree bias crime. Jackson is scheduled to be arraigned next week. And get ready for a major closure on the Lewis and Clark Bridge. Crews are making repairs to the Columbia River crossing between Rainier and Longview. A full closure begins Sunday evening at 8. and could last for up to 8 days. Your alternates here involve a significant detour, either the Astoria-Megler Bridge, or the Interstate Bridge in Vancouver. Either way, it's a long way. The Wahkiakum County Ferry will also be running service twice an hour, 24 hours a day, while that bridge is closed. Pedestrians, cyclists, and emergency vehicles, you can still cross starting Monday morning.
The jig is up. You cannot keep being dwindled and marginalized and disrespected and dishonored.
Well, that is Fran Drescher, famous, of course, for her role in The Nanny, though this is no sitcom, with Drescher speaking on behalf of actors and artists minutes away now from shutting Hollywood down. That is because actors voted to join screenwriters for a huge combined strike. It starts at midnight. SAG-AFTRA, their union, made that call after contract talks collapsed with studios and streaming services. We should note that KGW anchors and reporters, including myself here, are SAG-AFTRA members, though our work as journalists is covered by a separate local agreement. NBC's Dana Griffin explains what it all could mean for your favorite shows and movies.
Tonight, an unprecedented Hollywood shutdown. SAG-AFTRA, which represents 160,000 actors, saying they'll strike at midnight after failing to reach an agreement with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents studios including NBC Universal.
How they plead poverty, that they're losing money left and right when giving hundreds of millions of dollars to their CEOs. It is disgusting.
Starting Friday, actors will join writers who have been picketing since May for the first joint strike since 1960. The breakdown in negotiations came down to streaming residuals and AI protections. Disney CEO Bob Iger responding to the actors' demands in an exclusive interview with CNBC.
There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. That is, quite frankly, very disruptive.
Today at the London premiere of Oppenheimer, Matt Damon and Emily Blunt walking out after appearing on the red carpet amid news of the strike.
They are fighting not for themselves, but for the rest of the guild, because the most powerful members can pick up the least powerful members.
The duet strike is unlike anything we've seen in decades. Films currently in production like Deadpool 3 and Wicked are expected to immediately come to a halt. Movies already set to be released, like Barbie and Meg 2, will still hit theaters, but A-list celebrities won't participate in any promotion, which will impact studio profits. The strike comes as studios scramble to cash in on streaming, while at the box office, Indiana Jones and The Flash have failed to break even. Tonight, questions remain how long it could take to get the show back on the road. Dana Griffin, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Let's get to a progress report tonight on Portland's first city-run homeless camp, one that will soon be a temporary home for up to 200 people. People will have the option of a pre-made pod, but for those who prefer a tent, there will be newly built platforms to help elevate them off the ground. A group of students from the nonprofit Constructing Hope were there today. It teaches the basics of the trade to low-income people, mostly who identify as BIPOC. Their goal, to build about 20 platforms in partnership with the Home Building Foundation, while also learning some key skills.
How to work together in sequence to each other. If somebody's cutting, somebody needs to be measuring. It all comes together in the end, so they have to work together.
Well, the city says the site, which is on the Inner East Side near Powell Boulevard, will be welcoming campers later this month.